Hello, Tungsten Miner here. This time I have been making some progress with making a few mines, a bunch of exploration, and a farm. So let's jump in. Okay, we are standing here just out front of the farm. And we can see I've got a little farm building here. Inside is going to be a cooking for Blockheads Kitchen. So if we look at this, cooking, if I can remember how to type, there we go. So that starts with this cooking table here where you need to get some terracotta. So part of my explorations were to find some of that, although it can be made from clay easily enough. The Cooking for Blockheads book is just taking a book and cooking it. And then taking that, combining it with a crafting table, combining all of that with really stone of any sort. And then terracotta gets you the cooking table. That's the middle of all of this. And then all the rest of this stuff is add-ons, inessential add-ons. So you can have a refrigerator so that it looks like you've got an actual refrigerator. It doesn't do anything except store stuff, but yeah, it looks cool. You can have an oven, which actually does cook things, and can use fuels like actual electrical power for one, or using cooking oil for cooking. So you can basically grow olives and turn those into cooking oil and then cook with that. Tool racks and spice racks and milk jars and all sorts of fun stuff. But mostly you're going to be interested in these counters and cabinets to store things. They're basically chests where you can put food. And that's what's going to wind up inside of here. And all of it needs to be connecting because it forms a big multi-block that allows all of the things to find all of the other things, so that when you use this cooking table, it provides you with all the recipes. And once I've got it all set up, I'll show you exactly how that works. Over here is going to be where all of the food, one, gets grown. So at least half of this will be turned into just plain fields where crops can grow. And then also to crossbreed different crops. So if we look at AgriCraft, we can see we've got these crop sticks here. And what these allow you to do is plant several things next to each other and then have the various things crossbreed. So for example, if I took daisies and planted them on one side, and then wheat and planted them on the other side, and then had two cross crops in between on top of some farmland, I'd have a 75% chance of developing a barley seed. If I did the same daisy with parsnip instead, I'd have a 56% chance of getting arrowroot, and so on. There's various other ones. So any seeds that I don't have, I can potentially develop. AgriCraft also allows you to improve the various crops that you have so they produce more output. And I'll probably have a section over here that allows me to do that. In my explorations, I have found a whole bunch of seeds. So these are all ones that I have discovered rather than developed. But it provides an excellent starting place for my further development of various kinds of crops. I will also be putting in a tile floor. So if we look at the cooking for blockheads, this kitchen floor, which is just marble and basalt in this mod pack, although it has a different recipe by default, gives you a floor which allows you to just connect all of your refrigerators and cabinets and countertops and sinks and everything else without having to actually have them like touching lined up across the wall. You can just have the whole floor be part of the kitchen multi-block. So I'll make a bunch of that as well. That's about as far as things have gotten here, but now let me jump off to my iron mine. Okay, nearly there. Last time we were up this way, this was just a hole in the ground. I have since developed one of my little cabins, although I forgot to bring glass, so I don't have any windows here. But this goes downstairs, and then that goes down, and have a bit of a feather mine that goes off in a couple of different directions. Mostly it just goes down to about here, and then swings up to the coast. But eventually I'll start developing the mine further and further to encompass looking for iron underneath this whole thing. At some point, of course, I'll get around to developing more advanced mining equipment, and this will become kind of defunct. Looks like we have a wolf visiting and some llamas. And fortunately, we don't have a naga. Last time when I was building this cabin, I had a naga come down from the mountains and very nearly killed me. But I don't see any around today, fortunately. All right, so that's kind of it for the iron mine. Not a lot to see. And then finally, let me head off to my swamp mine. And here we are at the swamp mine. So this, looking at our map, is way down south. So we can see here's the farm where we started out. Here's the iron mine. Here's my initial little cabin in the woods. And then all the way down here is my swamp mine. And as you can see, that really is the closest piece of swamp that I could find. I explored a good ways around looking for one, and that was kind of it. One, I needed diamond for various other projects, storage drawers and things. I also wanted to find some coal because I want to get started making some creosote, and coal produces a lot of creosote. Also, it produces coke, which is needed for steel. So I wanted to get that too. And then finally, I wanted to get some basalt. So that is this stuff right here in the wall. And that's part of the materials you need for making this floor, marble and basalt. So the marble I had plenty of from the iron mine, and therefore I just needed a swamp mine to make that work. And that's about it for this time, making slow progress. One other thing to mention is I did do a lot more exploring to the south, as you can see here, and finally did find a mesa biome and a little bit of a desert biome down here. Did not find a savanna biome I was hoping to find because that's where horses appear in this mod pack, but there's a lot of mules and donkeys and things down this way. Found another village, so I got a bunch more seeds. Got a little bit of cactus from the desert, and that's making some progress towards some important things. Picked up a little bit of railroad track too, which of course, this being a railcraft oriented mod pack, will be very important later on. So that's about it for now. Talk to you later.